This is too tough for me. So I'm in the middle of the foreword of my book, Olympian Star Awards, to be the best teacher, be the best parent. I've got it, it's taken me a lifetime, but I've got it from the top people from Harvard in America, from their books. And this is from Alice Miller, The Newly Recognised Shattering Effects of Child Abuse. This is my foreword. Here lies the great opportunity for relatives, social workers, therapists, teachers, doctors, psychiatrists, officials and nurses to support the child and to believe in him or her. This country doesn't have anyone in the schools that believe the child. They call them mentors or counsellors in America. The child has no one to turn to. If they're beaten unfairly, they suffer injustice, they're going to take it out on us. So we need people there to protect them. My local school now has a police officer wandering around and saw me taking pictures of the kids spitting through the fence at me, comes out and stops me and charges me under the Terrorism Act for being a child, for being a paedophile. It's on my record now. And they need a police officer there to keep the kids under control. They've lost control. Been so abused. And these are Muslim kids. 99% Muslim kids in our schools now out here. Well done, coming to England. So I hope a few Muslims can read this too. Break the bond. Stop your silly Shia law of corporal punishments with your cat of nine tails made out of camel hide. Come on, you maniacs. Till now, society has protected the adult and blamed the victim. So this is what we're going to do with this charity. We're going to find these adults. We're not going to punish them. We're going to make them pay back what they've taken from our children in money, in time and effort. Reparations is what we want. And to make sure they don't do it again, we'll re-educate them. And have the government locked up. They've got to be locked up for not ensuring that they have responsible people looking after our children if we're paying them to do that in our schools and institutions. Till now, society has protected the adult and blamed the victim. It has been abetted in its blindness by theories still in keeping with the pedagogical principles of our great-grandparents, according to which children are viewed as crafty creatures, dominated by wicked drives, who invent stories and attack their innocent parents who desire them sexually. In reality, children tend to blame themselves for their parents' cruelty and to absolve the parents when they invariably love who they invariably love of all responsibility. And this is the book to buy. I haven't read it yet. David Mallory sent me this, one of the few. This is £50 now. They're out of print. You can get it for £10 on Amazon, so buy it. And this explodes all the myths that the church and the religions, the Christian religion, said that hitting children was good for them. There's nothing in the Bible about chastising children, and Jesus never hit a child, never punished anyone. So this is the book to get. Spare the Child by Philip Grevin. The Religious Roots of Punishments and the Psychological Impact of Physical Abuse. It's all a hoax. And the fundamentalists in America are still perpetrating it. And we had a wonderful professor of genes go off there and explain that evolution is a fact. It's not a theory, it's a fact. So now that I'll be going over there to hang them. It's probably a capital crime what they're doing to children. Making a child commit suicide, that's a criminal offence of infanticide, isn't it? We're going to have, they've got the death penalty. We just have to inject a lethal dose in a few of these religious fanatics and they will stop. So that's what I need the money for, just a ticket. I'll go over there and sort them out. For some years now, it has been possible to prove, thanks to the use of new therapeutic methods, that repressed traumatic experience in childhood are stored up in the body, in the back of the brain, and although remaining unconscious, exert their influences even in adulthood. Read Alice Miller's other books, and she explains how past leaders in Germany and Russia and here have been beaten by their uncles and parents, and that's why they took it out on their populations instead of looking after us, taking us into wars. In addition, electronic testing on the fetus has revealed a fact previously unknown to most adults. A child responds to and learns both tenderness and cruelty from the very beginning. In the light of this new knowledge, even the most absurd behaviour reveals its formerly hidden logic. Once the traumatic experience of childhood no longer must remain shrouded in darkness. It's what happened to them in their childhood. Stop blaming people for their behaviour. Try and get them doing wonderful things with their lives, and sort out their childhood and punish their parents if you can find out who did it to them, or teachers. 11. Our sensitization to cruelty with which children are treated, until now commonly denied, and to the consequences of such treatment, will, as a matter of course, bring to an end the perpetuation of violence from generation to generation. And then we'll all be pacifists. No one will go to war. If women bring us up as pacifists and stop their husbands beating their children and make us all pacifists, there can't be any war because there'll be no one there to go and fight. Stupidity. It's against all our moral codes to kill. Thou shalt not kill. How can the government throw away its common law and get us to kill each other? It's a nonsense. The government's got to be locked up for all these war crimes we've done in Iran, I beg your pardon. And they're preparing for Iraq as well. They've surrounded it now. They're nutters. But it's the industrial complex related to the governments in the Western world that make so much money out of armaments. And we've got it. As soon as you shut down an armaments factory, within 3 months all those scientists are employed doing something beautiful with their lives, because people need trained, intelligent scientists. People whose integrity has not been damaged in childhood, who were protected, respected and treated with honesty by their parents, will be, both in their youth and adulthood, intelligent, like me, responsive, like me, empathic, like me, and highly sensitive. They will take pleasure in life, like me. I've been cycling around the world for the last 20 years. Got a bit old for it. And not feel any need to kill or even hurt others or themselves. They will use their power to defend themselves but not attack others. Now, I've got the worst landlord, the popular haka, and he's going to prison for 1,000 years. He's going to try and kick us all out unlawfully. And he's doing it. He's done it before. And people are going. I'm going to have him locked up. Take me a couple of years, but I'll do it. He's overstepped the mark this time. He's blackmailed me now. That's a long time in prison to force me to move out of my lease. My lease doesn't say I can leave. He has to work around me. He can't make me move out to do up my flat for a year and then come back. He's got to do it around me while I'm here. But he doesn't seem to know that. No one's told him off. So he's going to find a big summons to the criminal court very soon for blackmail. Hope he's watching this. It's on one of the websites where my landlord might watch. Or I'll try and start a new website for this. So, they will not be able to do otherwise than to respect and protect those weaker than themselves, including their children, because this is what they have learned from their own experience, and because it is this knowledge, and not the experience of cruelty, that has been stored up inside themselves from the beginning. Such people will be incapable of understanding while earlier generations had built up a gigantic war industry in order to feel at ease and safe in this world. That's why we do it, to make us feel safe. We got the bomb. We got the subs. They ground them. They can't even have, they didn't have an electronic map yet. It's still on paper. That's how backward the military are. Such people being capable of understanding, since it will not have to be their unconscious life task to ward off intimidation experienced at a very early age, they will be able to deal with attempts at intimidation in their adult life more rationally and more creatively. So I'm going to send the criminal summonses to my landlord without paying the fee, the 50 quid or whatever it is, so they get taken to court and tried, and say, now you take away your desire to refurbish all these flats and we won't have you prosecuted. So that's the way to do it. Get the criminal summons, go to the criminal court, fill it in, post this, photocopy it and post it to the person you're wanting to stop the unwanted behaviour, their criminal behaviour, beating children or whatever it is, and saying that if they stop and make reparations, you won't have it served on them through the courts. And that's the way to stop them, because they're facing imprisonment straight away as soon as they get that letter from you, and they will stop. I guarantee it. I did it to a teacher once when I first got to this country. "Oh, we'll throw these books down your throat," she said. No, she didn't. She faced the court.